Greetings, Capricorns. Thanks for joining me. Hope you are having a wonderful week so far. This is your reading leading up to the new moon in Pisces on the 13th, so it's not that far away. And I do feel very, it is, I always say, very Neptunian, free flow time. Allow yourself to kind of go with the currents, to let your fantasies and your imagination take you places. Just allow yourself that. Of course, there's always a shadow side, escapism, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not talking about that. It's just for a time, go with the flow. Anyway, that's how it feels. That's how it feels here at the moment, going with the flow. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. We're doing a modified Celtic cross for you Capricorns. Today we look at the central point, the basis, what's past, what's behind you, where you're currently at, and where we are moving forward. And then I'll get a journey map card and a Brian Froud Pixie and Fairy from the Fairy Oracle, which is a nice light-hearted, excuse me, Capricorn, light-hearted ending to the reading. So let's see, let's get a few cards, or a couple of cards even, for beautiful Capricorn here. Let's see what's happening. Thank you. One more card. We'll talk about this and then we will... Oh, it's just too many cards. Then we'll go through and of course we'll clarify for you Capricorn as well. Let's see. Just one card for the basis, please. For lovely, lovely Capricorn. Okay. All right, let's see. So we come out, oh my God, talking about dreamy. Holy moly's. We come out with this big goblet, gobble, gobble, gobble. The beautiful ace of cups. I mean, it's like, wow, you're talking about dreamy time. This is a gift. It's a gift from the divine. It's a gift that we can't afford not to see. I mean, quite honestly, with it, it comes down. It comes to us as without form at this point. But possibly, Capricorn, we're the ones that shape it into a form. We're the ones, this is what I'm getting, we're the ones that provide it with some within some construct to present itself in form. That's quite unusual. That's what I'm getting. We have the Queen of Cups with it also, crossing it. So look, I just get that thing where you really are, I think, Capricorn, for as an earth sign, you're really going with this. You're really going with this, tuning into your imaginative, amazing imaginative qualities at this time. The basis of which is that I think maybe I don't know, a realization that there's so many things in this life that are unknown. Even when we look back 12 months, even over this past year, but even beyond that, there are so many things in this life that are unknown. Look, we must take advantage of this amazing watery gifts. And the Queen shapes it, uses it. She's working with this ace. Like, this is big. This is really amazingly big stuff. and we get the moon at the basis. Are we getting into some work? And I mean work with the moon. Are we doing some personal ritual? Are we getting back in tune with the magnetism that the earth, that the moon and tides bring us? Or are we just becoming more aware of subconscious elements within ourselves and bringing them out into physical form through the Queen's adeptness at how the flow flows, at how the currents work? With this, I find it amazing, Capricorn. This is really dreamy. It's very dreamy, but it's very directed at the same time. In the past, let's get a card past. What's behind you is the world, is the universe. I think this is about a new cycle. So one would assume that past events, recently past events, have propelled you into this, what I see as a very watery portal of a new beginning, a new cycle, a new spinning of the wheel is what this is. So we've passed through that into this, what it's like a journey, you know, what is it, 50 gazillion fathoms under the sea, or it's like you've entered into a new a really new zone, whether that's in your own work, for yourself, for your own personal reasons, in your world, in your family, in your scenario. It's like you've gone in. This is behind you, of course, but you're in that now. You're like in the next phase of it. It's really, wow, it's about as watery as you could get, Capricorn. Wow. I find it fascinating what's happening at this current point. Yeah, collaborations. Collaborations. We get the 3 of discs. As I say, focused. It's a focused expression, but largely coming from the realms of the emotion, the realms, the watery realms, really. And as a Capricorn, yes, it is focused. This is a triangle, a very strong shape. It's wheeled, it's moving, and it's moving quite fast, and it's quite strong. This is in the current position for you, Capricorns. The pyramid moves. It is about collaboration, pulling in resources, working with others. You know, working with others is a heavy emphasis in this card. It's about understanding how we translate something and bring it life in the material zone. It's like you're working with an element. Of course, we're made up of all different signs, elements, of course, but it's as if you've mastered the element of water, of areas of unknowing. You've been fearless in moving through into a new spin of the wheel, into a new cycle, and this is where we find ourselves, Capricorn. It's really amazing. Moving forward for Capricorn, please. Look, there are offshoots in here, which are too many and varied to mention, is what I'm feeling here. we get two cards coming out, moving forward. Moving forward, we get two nines. I will often say with these readings, we're looking at a sort of 5-6 positioned reading here, and there's a circle and there's a timing involved in this. But I do believe that these cards that just came out moving forward, beautiful Capricorn, are actually something that you dealt with before you entered into this new cycle, and in fact there's something that lie within the moon as you understand the moon to be in yourself. What I mean by that is conscious and unconscious, subconscious elements of your own mind. Moving forward, and I will come through and clarify this, we get two nines. Nines are about completions. So you could say, oh, well, maybe, as we move forward, you're completing something here. Even though you've entered into a new cycle, at the same time, you're completing something. But I believe you've, in order to get into this new cycle, you dealt with this, right? You've dealt with these things, these two nines. So we get the Nine of Swords, a mind card, of course. The Nine of Swords is about worry. It's about allowing worry to be our default mechanism, to be constantly worried about what could, may happen, could, would, should. Pointless, but we all do it. Waking up at 3 in the morning. The mind is a beast, right? With the Nine of Swords, this is something that you dealt. See, this is why it just feels to me that it's something that you dealt with within this zone here. And that is why you could pass through into a new cycle, my friends. Capricorn, it's pretty amazing. We've got some pretty fluid things, not only with the starting out with the Ace of Cups, but the actual reading itself is quite fluid in terms of timing. So we have the Nine of Swords, that mental, the sort of cruelty that we do to ourselves. And then we have the Nine of Wands, a card of defense. Let's face it, in a nutshell, we're talking habitual defense mechanism. That is what we have become used to. Look, we all do this. So anything that presents itself, anything that comes our way, we're standing there on our hill, we are in defense. Oh my God, the whole deck just went boom. We are in defense. This is, oh God, sorry Capricorn, this is something that you have actually overcome, dear Capricorn, and we're going to go through and clarify. I think those cards just needed to earth themselves out, maybe. Wow. There's 3 cards. The whole deck just went off the table. There's 3 cards which I'll pick up and pull out after we have, which are face down, the only 3 that are face down. We'll pull those out at the end. But at this point, in fact, I'll pull them up here. I'm not going to look at them yet. And it's just quite interesting. 3 cards. I think it's 3. Face down. Okay, so beautiful Capricorn, let's see. You've gone through into this new cycle. You've understood how to work with something. You've understood how to work with the emotional realms that exist, whether that's within yourself, I do believe, or in the people around you as well. Let's see, in your world. Let's have a look. We're really interested in this moon, if we can peel the layer back for beautiful Capricorn, for the moon. for the moon, please. Just one card. Wow. Look. For the moon, we get the beautiful 10 of discs. This is a great card of knowing where you belong, your tribe, your family, to be in that in its full material sense. In its full material sense here. And enjoying that, being within it, enjoying all aspects of it. It's also been a 10. It presents itself in the physical world. I mean, you're within it, you're surrounded by it, but it is like anything passing, it passes through these, this is where the emotions come into it, that we fully immerse ourselves, we feel fully. But everything is constantly moving here. Everything is constantly moving. So we ask to peel back the layers of the basis of this whole thing for you. We see this card of tribe and family belonging. It's really our root. It's our foundation in this card. It's interesting. Let's look at the three. Oh, excuse me. The 3 of discs. We get the card jumping. Yeah, the 3 of discs. So we're working in collaboration. We see and we review how this has worked for us before, the energetics of it. Is it worthwhile? Is it not? Reviews are necessary. This is in the current position with that 3 of discs. This is moving very quickly. This is moving very quickly. For some reason, I get to sense that is everyone heading in the same direction in this collaborative effort, or there is an assessment going on, whether it's you, whether it's someone else, is what I get from that. Now, let's just clarify these 2 9s. That was a passing thing. These were hurdles to overcome, I feel, for Capricorn. That's what I feel. Can we just have, they were hurdles to overcome. We get one card coming out here. Looking at those 2 9s in the position of moving forward. The reason why we can move forward, in fact, Capricorn, is because we've dealt with these. We've overcome them at this point in time. And that allowed us to move through here, to move into a new cycle, into a new zone. The card to peel that layer back from the 2 9s, from the completion of the 2 9s, which is bloody good to get, that out of the way, I must say. We get the 6 of Swords, very much a 6 balanced card on the Tree of Life. A card of balance, a card of moving to a calmer place, a safer space, even if that is psychologically, even if it is purely in a mental place. Traditionally, one could say, moving across water. I think in this reading, it's actually moving to a much calmer, clearer place in your own mind, in fact. And this is allowed, your emotional health at this current time is primo, is actually really good. We oscillate, don't we? It's the nature of life, the nature of flow, the nature of currents. But I would say in an emotional sense, you're in a fantastic, absolutely amazing emotional place. at this current time. Now, for those 3 cards that came that were just face down when the other load all face up. So we get these the way that they came out, you know, which is interesting, just randomly pulling them out like this. So initially we get the Hanged Man. I do believe the Hanged Man was part of this process of understanding these aspects of which you really, really worked to let go of. And sometimes we need to be in a place where we're not overloaded in a sensory way. The Hanged Man, his juices are working their way like internally, like a chrysalid. There is a time factor in this. It is a necessity at times to be in a place where nothing much is coming in and nothing's going out. Now that, as all things do, changes. And then we see ourselves with this beautiful card, this card, the Two of Cups. A card, again, beauty, balance, harmony, reciprocal giving and receiving. It is the ultimate sun shining, the golden horizon. It's a beautiful card emotionally, especially when you start with the Ace of Cups and you're coming straight into the 2. You're using it. You are using this. You are giving it form, my dear Capricorns. This is beautiful. And then we get the 4. The 4 of Discs, strength. This is like strength at its in its prime, primo construction. We're talking construction. There's something's, not only have you been the master of working with, you know, and it could be in terms of working with others and being able to really, in a group way, in a collaborative way, to really work with people's individual emotional climates to make a project work. I find this really interesting. And so we see the 4 of Discs, a very solid structure, but it does have, it's not hermetically sealed. It has one entrance and one only. So we have flow, but it's really mastered. It's controlled. And I don't mean that in a suffocating way. In this reading, it's really directed, as I said to begin with. It's amazing, Capricorn. So it's really amazing. So let's get a journey map card for you today. Just one card, please. And then and then, sorry, excuse me, that was just way too many. And then I kind of feel like I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for what's going to happen next. What was that? Hang on, we're getting far too many cards coming out. So let's just get grounded here for a minute. One card, please. 4 beautiful Capricorn for this reading, which is like, you know, I am surprised that the Magician hasn't come out in this reading. All right, so we've got a journey map card. We get this interesting character, the Navigator. So, and what this card really is all about is that we find ourselves just as we were here on the surface of the water. We're on our journey. We're starting this journey. It's a new journey. It's a new cycle after the world. It's a new cycle begins. So we're feeling out this, you know, we're in movement here. We're floating on that surface. We look up, right? Because, all right, so, you know, I'm captain of my own ship. We look up to see, okay, what direction am I going in? The Navigator is about is about the star maps, is about using our environment, because we are aware that we are intrinsically part of this environment, and we use it to guide us. There's all manner of mythologies around the world with indigenous people of the planet that are based on particular myths, stories, in terms of reading the stars. Here in the Navigator, we really know how to direct ourselves and to focus by using these maps. I find that quite fascinating, because I feel like you're using, I don't mean using in a bad way, it's not that, it's using these emotional currents around you in order to construct something quite amazing. Anyway, I won't go on about it. Let's get a Pixie and Fairy just to top this amazing reading. It's like emotional, what's the word? Adeptness. That's doesn't even describe the incredible nature of it to me. It's as if, yeah, it's amazing. What we get is this funny little creature, Mike the Micromancer. You know, this is about, this is probably one of your beautiful strengths too, Capricorn. This card is about seeing the detail. We see every marker, but at the same time, we see the whole, and we see every element that makes up that whole. So we really are. It's like we've got all bases covered from above to below, with a 360-degree understanding and a very direct, focused approach, because we know every detail within this map, within this sphere, within this scenario, situation, emotional, interactive, collaborative thing. We know we see every element. This is knowing every mark on a ledger, the total sum of something really big. This is amazing, Capricorn. On that note, I hope this finds you well, dear Capricorns. Please tune in to Time and Tides. That'll be up later today, I think. And have a wonderful week. Take care. And we'll see you next time. Okay, Capricorns. Cheerio. Toodle pip.